thought it was time for a all-round tour of our little micro homestead here at Primrose Cottage. This is our front door, one of my favorite views. And that is a wreath I made out of some spruce roots that I had to cut off from one of my rescue plants. So this is the outside of the cottage, and I thought I'd give a fall update of all the happenings around here. I'm going to start over at our border line, or our land line, property line, whatever you want to call it, our property line, where I've planted some fast growing trees and some not so fast growing trees. So over here is where I have my nice big leaf crib that I'm working on filling up to capacity. And it's looking pretty good. We're about a third of the way there right now. All along this is our hen yard, and all along here I have planted some lilacs and raspberries, some mint and comfrey, and there are some roses growing here and some blackberries. This is one of my new apple trees. I'm believing it's a Cortland, a semi-dwarf Cortland, but I'm not 100% sure on that one because it was given to me because they didn't have the tag on it. So all along the property line now, as I said, I've planted some fast growing and semi-fast growing and not so fast growing trees and shrubs. So the first one here, what you're seeing, this stick that you're seeing, is elderberry, and I've planted several elderberries along here. This stick is one of my butternut trees. This is what was left of it after the frost hit the leaves and the little branches that aren't permanent. So, and I've also stuck in a fir tree, a little fir tree. I managed to rescue some fir trees, several, probably about 10 or 15 from a neighbor's forest. This is one of the willows that I planted. So it took and it's growing. And this stick here that you're looking at is the other butternut, and I put another fir tree right over there. Now you'll notice that the fir and the butternut are leaning toward me. That's because we have a southwest prevailing wind, and that is south, southwest, west. So if you actually plant your trees leaning into the wind, that should help them maintain a getting straight or straightening out, and they won't lean over the other way. We haven't done really a lot of work on the cottage itself this year, not yet, but we're getting there. We did put a new window in, and this is my garage bed that I had to reduce down to a flat one. So this has got lots of peppermint and the sunchokes growing in it. And next year I'm sure it'll fill in even nicer, and the peppermint should fill in very thickly. This is our woodshed, all stocked up for winter. It's been a balmy, like -4, -3 in the morning around here. We managed to purchase a used outhouse. This is for guests because our compost toilet is only suitable for 1 to 2 people. The little beds outside the hen yard produce really nicely this year. And of course the calendula are still blooming away. They're always so nice and hardy. We have got our future site of our root cellar excavated. It's caving in a little bit, but that's okay, we can dig it out. But next year we're going to work on building a root cellar in this location. These were the 2 potato beds, and the soil underneath them is fantastic. There's still potatoes under there. because we don't really have a place to store them, but they're great. They'll stay under there until it gets too hard a frost. And up on the side hill, I'm trying to grow some plants that will hold this hill in so we don't have more caving in or erosion there. So we've got rhubarb and comfrey. I planted a cedar tree up there. There is a grapevine, but not sure how good that's going to do. Now, another little future project that's happening. I've dug out the ends of these potato beds because this is going to be the location of my outdoor kitchen. It's going to be about a 6x6 area with a shelter. I'm going to just put 4 posts in and a roof over it with a metal roof. No sides, just a shelter from the rain. I'm really looking forward to getting at that next year. That's going to be fun. I've got lots of bricks that I can make my outdoor cooking surfaces and oven I'm hoping for. So this is the back garden, and this will all become herbs next year. So the back 4 beds will be the perennial beds, and the 4 front beds. You can see this is one of them. The 4 front beds will be for annual herbs, which I'm hoping to sell fresh herbs, and of course dry plenty for myself and family. Compost bin is getting filled up nicely. I'm going to turn that once. As soon as it fills to the very top, I'm going to turn it and put it into this side and then begin a new compost bin there. All the tools of the trade. I planted some carrots in this tub, and so they're just going to stay there until I can use them all up. This is the new strawberry bed. Well, I don't have an old one, but this is the bed that's going to be for strawberries in the spring. I have some friends that have lots of runners on their berries that I'll cut off in the spring and plant them here. Also, I'll buy some. Almost finished topping up all the beds now with a fresh load of composted horse manure. I'm going to go out for another load today. Things are looking good, cleaned up nicely. This is our Bonfire Pet Entertainment Center, where we have company come and get to sit outside and roast marshmallows. So I've got my grapevine here. This is another little edge. I planted a fir tree behind there, and I stuck in some blackberry canes again. Second try, because the first ones didn't take. I really wasn't caring for them. I didn't make sure that they were watered and everything when they needed it. But, oh well, that's okay. And I do have some comfrey growing there, so I'll have lots of comfrey again next year. So I'm trying to get some growth in this area so that we have some privacy from the road. This is a fairly busy road. Even though it's a rural side road, it's actually quite busy. So I planted another little fir tree there. I've got some sunchokes transplanted here. I planted a hydrangea there. I'm hoping the beavers don't like it, but we'll see. I might have to make the fence a little bigger around it. More fir trees. And if you can see that stick, and there's some green coming off it, that's another elderberry. I've stuck in a lot of elderberries along this area. The beavers like to come up and take down any little trees that are here, but apparently elderberry isn't really something they're interested in. Another fir tree in there. So I've got several evergreen trees and elderberries planted in this area here, again as wind protection, number 1, and number 2 as some privacy from the road. So I'm going to take you into my fenced-in garden. We don't have a deer problem here. So the fence, that's why the fence is only 4 feet high. But we do have a beaver, groundhog, and rabbit problem. Hence the fence. So, oh, we've got some Brussels sprouts still going strong. I'm going to be able to pick those soon. This is what I'm really excited about for next year. There's one of my, I think that's the dwarf Cortland apple tree. But this is my fruiting shrub area right here. So we've got some black currants and raspberries. So these canes I'm really excited about because they're going to give us some raspberries next year. Second year canes. They will be second year canes. So, and I dug up anything that was growing in the pathway. I dug it up and transplanted it along for a second row, and that's coming along very nicely. So next year they'll put out first year shoots, and the year after we'll have lots more raspberries. I was very fortunate to get lots of chipped trees there, so I've got that in this bed. There's another black currant. This is a very interesting one. There's a very different scent and taste to it. And at this end I have, I don't know if you can even see them, my Hascaps. They're kind of hard to see. They just blend in. And this is my plum, Stanley plum, a compost pile that I've made from any scraps from that I wanted to take off. I left as much as I could right on the bed and just covered them. This is my third apple tree, and this one's a semi-dwarf Cortland. This is my hugel mound, which I need to keep adding some hay to, and I'm working on getting some hay that's mixed with manure that I'll top this up again and just keep topping it up and topping it up. As you can see, any little dips are that's the logs that we're putting, so I didn't have soil to put on top. Costs a lot of money to haul in soil, and doesn't cost much to haul in hay, and sometimes it's free even. So as you can see, I have one bed left to cover with manure. We're going to go get that soon. Oh, the hubby's just having a little nap. And here's another little bed. This is dedicated to flowers and the sunchokes and some peppermint. So I'm going to plant more flowers in here next year. Got some beautiful yellow lilies coming up there for next year. And through the gate. It's going to be a long one, long rambling one. So our burning bush, it's held onto its leaves and hasn't changed color much yet, but it's getting there. So I've got a grapevine in here. I've got some lavender, and I stuck in some hop vine. I'm not sure if it'll take, but we'll see. That was hop vine that I found growing wild along the road that I walk on every morning with my neighbors. So we're hoping that we have grapevine growing all the way up. I'm going to put a trellis all the way up to the top deck so that vine just gets to go wild. Same with the hop vines. I'll just let them grow wild all over the deck, and that will create another privacy area and a wind barrier. The neighbors, as you can see, are surrounded by shrubbery, and they don't get any wind. We do. Lots and lots of wind. So here's my rescue nursery part of it. It's running the whole way. Actually, it's going to end up running the whole way almost to the lake down that way. So I transplanted one of my twig Hascap berries there, and everything here except for this one Hascap has been rescued or dug up from a neighbor's or friends. This is yucca plant. I'm excited about that because it will spread and grow about 3 or 4 feet tall and gets a lovely white flower on it. And you could actually use the leaves to make soap, and I'll be doing that. So again, along here I've stuck in some raspberry canes. Hopefully they take. If they don't, that's okay. I'll put more in the spring. I'll just keep trying. They were free. Just the energy to go get them. I can't remember what that shrub is, but it gets quite tall and pretty purple flowers on it. But making more windbreak, more privacy. So this is a long-term hugelkultur bed project here. I'm not really worried about seeing it do anything too much yet. I'll just keep working away at it as I have the materials to put on it. So I'll put that on it. I stuck in another little tree there. The spruce tree that I planted in here. You have to look close. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yep, you can see the peak of it. The top. Right there. This is a little spruce tree that I planted. It's doing well. Planted that in the spring. So there. And I've got my fencing around the cedars to keep the beavers off them. And that's so far so good. That's worked. And down here I have also planted, what did I plant here? Oh yeah, sunchokes and elderberry. That's sticking up there with the green on it. That's elderberry, and in amongst that I put some sunchokes. Again, just more privacy and wind protection there. Another little fir tree there, a fir tree there. I've got fir trees everywhere. So that's it. Oh, that's the new window. And that's my update for the fall. Oh, one more thing. As I cleared around and cleared out the dead wood off this rose bush, it has done fabulously this year. It's really grown. And I'm just hoping that it just keeps spreading, because this is alders and they won't last too much longer before they start dying off. I did protect them with a fence so that the beavers can't eat them, but they will eventually just die because they're a pioneer plant, but they put nitrogen in the ground, so they're a great thing to have growing. And by the time the little trees that I've planted, and there's another fir tree, by the time the little trees have grown tall enough, these will be gone and they'll take its place. I know I'm long and rambling, but whatever. Enjoy.